Hey, good morning, my friends. How are you? Welcome to another edition of Behind the Mic with me, Mike Avery, here from the Outdoor Magazine radio studio. The setting, the setup, the picture, the video looks a little different this morning because, good morning, John. How are you? I got in here this morning and I normally use my phone. See, this is what I normally use to stream live with through an app or a platform called Epic Cam. And this morning, it won't connect. So I'm forced to use my laptop camera. So it's going to look a little different. But other than that, everything should be fine. I just don't like it when things don't work like they should. Anyway, good morning, John. How are you? Brian, good morning. Bernie, I hope you're still doing well. Uncle Johnny, how are you, buddy? Jerry, Ted, Robert, Bruce, Robert checking in from the Eastern UP at Raver Bay. Glad to have you along with us on a behind the mic that looks, like I say, a little bit different because I'm using this mic, this camera right here, the one on my, it's the Facebook camera or the FaceTime camera on my laptop. So thank God I have it. Appreciate that, Wayne. Patrick, good morning. How are you? This is behind the mic because I'm here behind the mic, this one. Actually, behind two mics, my social media mic and my official broadcast microphone. I will switch to this broadcast microphone here in about 15, 20 minutes or so. I'm really looking forward to that new crossbow, Ed. I think that's exactly the same model you have, isn't it? John, how long before you're on the water, buddy? HHD. Hi, how are I don't know what that means, Tim. Anyway, good morning. How are you? Good morning, James. Yeah, isn't that interesting? And I will respond to him as soon as I get a chance, but I don't know. I almost sometimes feel like I would rather deal with an anti-hunter than somebody who claims to be a fellow hunter who does not support other hunters. Morning, Tommy. How are you? Cliff, right back at you. Morning, Robert. Yeah, when winter goes away, John says he'll be on the water when winter goes away. When is that going to be? Anyway, John, well, I think if I do this a little bit, I can get rid of that keystoning. Oh, but then that happens to me. Okay. Good morning, Scott. How are you? So, Scott, remind me, when does the captain's registration open for Walleye for Warriors? Eastern Iowa. Good morning. Good morning, Spike. How are you? No, John, I didn't. The ruling is out for the walleye cheaters. What do you mean? The ruling is out. I thought they'd already had their time in court and been convicted. No? Morning, Aaron. Maybe August this year. Aaron says, I have the same crossbow that you just bought. You love yours. That's the consensus. Aaron, everybody I talk to who has that crossbow loves it. And I think I'm going to be very happy with it as well. Johnny Bowler, the Bear Whisperer. Johnny, it was great to see you and Heidi. Ed, it was great to see you guys as well at our Wednesday night live at the Lumberjack last week. Great day in St. Joe yesterday. Nat says it's snowing in Muskegon today. Captain's open now. Veterans open April 1st. Where'd you go, Scott? Captain's open now. Veterans open April 1st. So if you go to walleyeforwarriors.org, you still have captain spots open, Scott. You want to be a captain, and you don't have to be a licensed charter captain. It's just a boat captain, meaning you are willing to take some veterans out on Saginaw Bay June 10th and 11th. Walleyesforwarriors.org, walleyesforwarriors.org. Starting April 1st, veterans can sign up. Hey, Jim, how you doing, buddy? Haven't talked to you for a while. Right back at you, Cap. How was your afternoon on Saginaw Bay yesterday? I bet it was a wonderful day, a beautiful day. The winds started to pick up later in the day, but if you got out there early, it should have been nice. Scott says we still need more boat captains. So go to walleyesforwarriors.org, walleyesforwarriors.org. This is the Walleye for Warriors event on Saginaw Bay. It is out of Linwood Beach Marina, June 10th and 11th. Now, I am not going to be a boat captain this year because that first week in June, I'm bear hunting in Ontario. And I don't know when I'm going to get back, but I will be back for Sunday, June 11th to help, I don't know, MC the event, whatever you want to call it. I'll be there behind a microphone, which is kind of what I do, right? And I'm looking forward to that. Anyway, Jeremy, good morning. How are you? Cliff says the Omer Festival's in the Sucker Festival is in Omer this weekend. Julie, good morning. How are you? By the way, my friends, this is Behind the Mic. If you're just joining me, the setup looks a little bit different, right? I usually use this. I use my iPhone to do all my streaming with. And I'll tell you what, this is a very, very powerful tool. It has a great camera on it. And I usually use my iPhone to stream my Behind the Mics and my Wednesday night lives. For some reason, it won't let me connect to my laptop. So I'm using my laptop camera and it works. It's fine. John says, if I had a boat, I'd volunteer, but I don't have a boat. Yeah, first things first, eh? Anyway, a couple things I want to talk about here. Let me check my list. My grandson Carter started his trap shooting season. He shoots for the local high school trap team. He started last Thursday. I'm so excited about this. I love to see this for many reasons. I love to see kids using guns responsibly. And I've talked about this before, especially in the times that we have now. This drives me crazy. And I don't know how common sense has been so lost in this whole conversation. Well, I do. The people in charge in Lansing right now and in Washington right now seem to be a bunch of buffoons and idiots. Guns are not the problem. Guns do not cause violence. Evil and mental illness cause violence. If they happen to use a gun, it's not the gun's fault. So why punish the rest of us law-abiding, responsible gun owners? I'm really starting to get worried about this. When you start to look around, it's like there is a bigger agenda here, and guns just seem to be part of it. Common sense. Tim, it was great to see you and Jen and your son at the Lumberjack restaurant last week. You know, Doug, I don't mean to be one of these tinfoil hat people, but I'm starting to buy into this, Doug. It's all about control. It's very concerning to me. Very concerning. Good morning, Corey. How are you? And you'll notice, my friends, that whenever I touch my keypad, it does make my screen jiggle a little bit here. Hey, good morning, Ashley. It was great to see you and Joe at the Lumberjack restaurant last Wednesday night. We had a good time. The Wi-Fi hampered me a little bit. There was a great Wi-Fi signal there, but we had so many people in the room who were also watching Wednesday Night Live who were there that night that I think they cut into the bandwidth. Anyway, one of the cool things about watching my grandson Carter shoot trap is last Thursday when I was out there at the range, I heard spring peepers for the first time this year. I hadn't heard them yet. So that was nice. By the way, it's time to get your new fishing licenses and your new hunting licenses. I got mine yesterday. $26. $26 for an all-species year-long fishing license. Please don't gripe about that. Honestly, if you're griping about the cost of $26, you need to make some adjustments in your spending, right? Well, I'm a senior citizen. I can't afford it. Seniors get a break. Well, I have a lot of kids. That was your choice to have those kids. You knew it was going to be expensive. Jim says $11 for this old guy. And it is my last year at $26. I got to be honest with you. I'd pay $100 for a Michigan fishing license. It's worth it. One day on the water. I mean, come on, $26. And if you want to get your, hey, Mark's back from Arizona. How you doing, buddy? Mark says in Arizona, there was open carry everywhere. I bet you didn't have any mass shootings when you had people doing open carry. That's 6 twisted teas, Johnny says. $26 is like 2 cigars, 2 good cigars. 2 good cigars or several cheap ones. Combo license will cost you $76. That's all species fish for the entire year, base license, which is your small game, and 2 deer tags for $76. And yet people will bitch about it. Good morning, Deborah. How are you? That's true. It used to be, and I think this is very sexist, and I'm glad they got rid of this, that a wife could fish on her husband's fishing license. So how 1950s is that? If a woman is out there fishing with her husband, she should have her own license and spend the $26 or the $11, whatever it costs. Yeah, I was glad they got rid of that. I was never a real fan of that. That kind of creeped me out, honestly. Scott says, give up a case of beer. Johnny says it's a lot more if you get caught without that license. Scott says, let's put veterans or police officers in every school. I can't get a tank of gas for $26 in that ZR2. I wish I could. Corey was out on the bay yesterday. How'd it go? Good morning, Angie. I was just talking to your hubby. Okay, so what else? So this whole thing about guns, I mean, we can't solve this here, right? But I'm disappointed, shocked, and amazed at the lack of common sense in Lansing and in Washington. Maybe not so much Washington. You expect it from Washington. Do you expect it at the state level? Oh yeah, we do. Look who's guiding the state. Yeah, that's right. I forgot. Yeah, okay, fix the damn roads. Yeah. I forgot about that one anyway. Anyway, my grandson Carter was shooting trap, and there was not one act of violence caused by those kids, and every one of them had a gun. Jack likes my new crossbow setup. I like it too. I went to Jay's Monday, and I bought a 10-point Viper S400. Now, that's not Jeff has thoughts on this, I'm sure. A good moral compass. The new crossbow is sweet. So people say, Avery, why did you not get a Darton this time? Because I've shot Darton for 30 years. I love Darton. I love the fact that Michigan still is a Michigan-based company. And I love to support family-owned Michigan-based companies. And I've shot Darton for 30 years. And if Darton was going to come out with a crossbow that allows me to decock it, I'd have a Darton again. But they're not. They've decided they're not going to do it, and that's fine. I respect Darton. I love Ted Harpum. Ted Harpum of Darton is a personal friend of mine, one of my good friends for many, many years. And to be honest with you, I talked to Ted and I said, Ted, I'm going to go buy a 10-point. Just giving you a heads up. I don't want to screw up our friendship or anything like that, but I want a bow that decocks. And so I'd heard a lot about the 10 points. My son James bought a 10-point last fall. I said, man, that's a sweet rig. So I went to Jay's. I bought a 10-point. Bill said, how's it shooting? I've only had a chance to shoot it on the range. I have not sighted it in yet. I hope to do that probably Friday of this week. But it's a sweet rig. And I love the comment on Facebook about the guy saying, that's not archery equipment. Oh, my God. Could people be any more stupid? I'm in one of those moods. Could people be dumber? People are dumb. Let's take away guns so that way the criminals won't have guns. Okay, I'm pretty stupid. I believe that. A crossbow is not a bow. I'm pretty stupid. I believe that. I believe a crossbow is not a bow. I would almost rather deal with a blatant anti-hunter than I would a hunter who fails to support fellow hunters. My theory is I don't give a crap what you shoot as long as it's legal. The morality and the ethics are up to you. If the DNR, the NRC, and the legislature says what you're doing is legal and you're doing it in legal hours and you're doing it legally in a legal system, I don't care what you shoot. I used to hunt with a recurve, and I enjoyed hunting with a recurve tremendously. It was basic, it was primal, it was simple, it was instinctive, and it was beautiful. But I got to the point where I wasn't shooting it enough to be proficient and confident. And you have to have confidence in the tool you're using. And I think we owe that to the game animals, to the critters that we're after. So when I lost confidence in that recurve, and I knew realistically that I was not going to shoot it enough to be proficient and accurate and confident, I said, I'm going back to a crossbow. And I did. I went back to my dart and crossbow. And it felt good. It felt good to have confidence in what I was shooting. I decided to take a step up, but it's not even accurate to say a step up. Just I was looking for a bow that would decock. And in my mind, there were two options: the Raven and the 10-point. And I chose the 10-point. I still love Darton. I still support Darton. I think it's a great company. Shot Darton bows for many, many years. Love Darton bows. Thank you, Marco. Thank you, Marco. I appreciate that very much for helping me out. Mike, who's on the show this week? Brian Darland of Jay's Sporting Goods. He's the fishing department buyer for Jay's and a hardcore angler. We're going to talk about springtime steelhead fishing. It didn't seem right walking in here this morning, Charlie, and you know what I'm talking about. Springtime steelhead fishing. Then Tom Campbell of Woods and Water News. In their latest edition, they bring up the Rampolla buck, or as some people call it, the Rampolla buck. Well, Mitch says his name is, or the Rampolla buck. Well, Mitch says his name is Rampolla, so I'm going with Rampolla. And there's a score sheet from 30 years ago that's come up. We talk about that. Then Chet Lohr. Here's a great story. Chet Lohr, who is a mid-Michigan turkey hunting guide for many, many years, and Chet just went through a bad bout of cancer and cancer treatment, and he's feeling better. And he wants to talk about springtime turkey hunting. I said, man, you've got an open mic, an open phone line on my show, and I'm glad you're feeling better. So we're talking with Chet about that. Then Joanne Foreman of the DNR talks about the hemlock woolly adelgid. I think that's what it's called. Then this week's Ask Avery segment. In our third hour, springtime trolling with the man himself, the man who probably knows more about trolling than anybody I know, Mark Romanek of Fishing 411 and Precision Trolling. If you are a troller, you need the Precision Trolling app on your phone. It's like the troller's Bible. It's on my phone, I'll tell you that. And then we wrap it up with wild game chef extraordinaire Dixie Dave Miner. Hey, Joe, how are you, buddy? Joe, I see you saw the new toy that I bought. It's not a toy, the new tool that I bought at Jay's, new crossbow. I'm excited to get that out in the springtime turkey woods and then up in the Ontario bear woods this spring as well. No podcast today. It's a 5 Wednesday month. So I only do 4 podcasts other than the Outdoor Magazine podcast. Oh, I bet you are, Joe. I bet you are. Joe, my buddy, is a hardcore hunter. Okay, my only complaint with a crossbow, and I use one, is the guys who don't practice, treat it like a gun and hug the shoulder too much and shoot a game too far out. Couldn't agree with you more, Elliot. Somebody says, well, what's the range on that crossbow? Well, the range on a target's like 100 yards. I would never shoot an animal at more than, I said 40 in my comment, probably 30. I could shoot a compound. When I was shooting a compound, I could shoot a compound farther than I can shoot a crossbow. So I agree with you there, Elliot. Absolutely. Who's this? Jerry says, it was nice to meet you in Port Huron, Jerry. Look at the shirt I'm wearing, Jerry. You'll know what that means. It was nice to meet you as well, Jerry. We had a wonderful conversation, and I appreciate it. Oh, Ron. These, can I say it? Can I say it without being disrespectful? These buffoons, these idiots in Lansing, whatever happened to common sense? Now, I know we are supposed to support and pray for our leaders. But man, they got to do their part too, right? They got to do their part too. Jerry's nice shirt. Joe says he took down a 60 yards with his 10-point 2 years ago. Hey, if you've got the shot and if you have the confidence, I would never judge a fellow hunter. Again, what I said is, as long as you're doing it legally, God bless you. There is no and here's the part that I love. They say they frame this under common sense gun laws. Like if you're against it, you have no common sense. I say the common sense gun laws are not based on common sense. Yeah. Pray that they'll stop being stupid. That's a good Johnny said, I pray they're all out of office before it's too late. That is getting to be a concern, isn't it? The way we're going and these unfortunate tragedies that we're seeing that does nothing but put gas on the fire, fuel the fire, and give the uncommon sense politicians fodder to move ahead. It's very disturbing. It is. It's very disturbing. And I don't see it going the right direction. I don't. Again, Eli says it's all about control. And I hate to sound like a tinfoil conspiracy theorist, but I'm starting to buy into this. It is all about control. They want to be able to control us. That ain't going to happen with me. I hear what you're saying, Martin, but I'm not running for office, but I hear what you're saying. You need to be involved in the process. They do. Because, again, common sense, right, Joe? Pastor Joe? The criminals don't give a crap about gun laws. Brian says, I'm ready. The new crossbow. Love my NXT 400. Just check my mic if you would, Charlie, because I don't. I'm still, it's very, very, very low. Very low. Is it? Okay, then boost my headphones up if you would. Trying to get a audio level here for Charlie. Still quite low. Quite surprisingly low. Okay. Oh, I hear you, Martin. Yeah, not me, but yeah, I get it. Yeah, you got to be involved. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. There. Whoa, that was it. If you want to bring my headphones down again. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. That's a little bit farther. That's pretty good right there, Charlie. Thank you. Wow, we discovered that one, didn't we? How about that? All right, my friends. In about 30, 45 whatever seconds. 30 seconds. I'm going to switch my focus. I will not be able to interact directly with you as I have been. But I'll have to switch my focus from this microphone, my social media microphone, to this microphone, my broadcast microphone. So if you ask me a question or make a comment and I don't respond, it's not because I'm being rude, and I am often accused of being rude and much more, and I'll accept that. But in this case, it's because I've got to record the radio show. But if you do want to interact, and I hope you do, we can do that again tonight at 7:00 for another edition of Wednesday Night Live. Now, this is behind the mic, right? Here's what happens to me behind the mic. I put nasal spray in my nose when I'm plugged up. Okay. I know that's gross, but that is behind the mic. Okay, no problem. We're on delay here a little bit. Tim says it's all planned out. Again, I don't want to buy into this conspiracy theorist mentality, but if something looks like a duck and talks like a duck, maybe it is a duck. Anyway, I hope to get that 10-point out there and sight it in with that Vortex scope. Now, I took the 10-point scope off that bow and put on a Vortex Crossfire 2 scope because I actually love that scope. What I will do is I will zero the scope. Good morning, Randy. How are you? I will zero that scope at 40 yards, shoot it at 80 yards, and then adjust my speed ring, which is basically the zoom ring. Anyway, I hope to do that Friday, and I'll shoot some video and some pictures of that as well. Good morning, Randy. How are you? Speaking of Randy, it made me think of your son, Josh, I think is his name. The Walleye for Warriors registration is going on. The boat captain's registration is going on now at the website walleyesforwarriors.org, walleyesforwarriors.org. The veterans registration will start April 1st. Joe says, am I seeing any turkeys? Yeah, actually, I saw a huge flock of turkeys the other day, about a quarter mile from the property that I have access to hunt. So I'm hoping as they split up, they'll move that direction. But yeah, I'm getting pretty excited about it. Good morning, Randy. Johnny, all right, my friends, have a good day. I am going to 15 seconds. Okay. This time, Charlie promises. Don't ever promise, Charlie, because we don't know what's going to happen. Let me delete 4, 3, 2, 1. Blast off. There we go. All right, my friends, have a good day. I'm going to record the first segment of the radio show. Feel free to stick around if you want. I'll talk about many of the same comments we've just discussed. And then tonight at 7 o'clock, I will do another edition of Wednesday Night Live. We will not be at the Lumberjack Restaurant tonight. I'll be in my home studio. So that's where I will be. And it actually, have you noticed it's still light out at 7:45? So maybe we can start to do the after Wednesday Night Live. Is that what we call it? After Wednesday Night Live? Maybe we can start that here pretty soon. So again, you're going to think I'm just repeating myself, but I'm going to talk about many of the same topics in this opening segment. Have a good day, my friends. Well, thank you, Ken Hunter, for that introduction, and welcome to another edition of the Outdoor Magazine radio show right here on the Outdoor Magazine radio network on more than 30 radio stations across the great state of Michigan. Yes, this is first and foremost a radio show, and I am so glad to have you along with us. What have you been up to since we last talked? Have you done anything fun? Have you been outside? Have you been outdoors? Have you been, well, your hunting opportunities are going to be a little bit limited here for the next few weeks, but have you been fishing? Or is it still wintertime where you live? I was able, my grandson Carter, I've told this story before, my grandson Carter shoots trap for the local high school trap team. And they were on the trap range last week for the first time. So I had a chance to go out and watch Carter shoot. But while I was there, I heard spring peepers. I haven't heard those yet this season. I heard spring peepers, and I thought, oh, man, yet another sign of spring. And I was thinking, well, okay, spring is here now. And then, of course, it snowed after that, and it's supposed to snow again. Mother Nature, or I should say Old Man Winter, is just kind of hanging on. He's making his will known. He's enforcing his will on us, as the weather, Mother Nature, often does. But it's coming. It's coming. It was wonderful also to be at the trap range and watch these high school kids shooting guns responsibly. Now, it's been a pretty rough week when it comes to guns, hasn't it? Pretty rough week indeed. So every time I get a chance to see these high school kids on the trap range, breaking clay targets, handling guns responsibly, it warms my heart. You know, this is not the venue. We can't solve the gun issue here on this show. I understand this. But this whole concept of common sense gun laws has no common sense. These people in Lansing, these people in Washington need to open their eyes and quit trying to, don't do it, Avery. Don't do it. Don't do it, Avery. They need to quit trying to impose their will on law-abiding gun owners and address the real problem. The problem is not guns. The problem is people behind the guns. Why is that common sense way of thinking not being addressed? Honestly, it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart to see this. It breaks my heart to see when we have these shooting events and families are destroyed. But it wasn't the gun that destroyed those families. It was the person, either the evil, there is evil in this world. It was either the evil person or a mentally ill person who caused the violence. My guns have never caused violence, and they never will. I pray they never will. They will never cause unprovoked violence. I will promise you that. Hey, it's time to get your new fishing license. I got mine the other day. It's the last time I will pay full price for a fishing license, because the next time I buy a fishing license, I'll be qualified to get the senior discount. So I had to pay the full price of $26. A whopping $26 to fish all species every day, everywhere in the great state of Michigan. $26. And yet I hear people gripe about it. Well, I'm a senior. It costs me too much. Well, then the seniors get a discount. Well, I can't afford to buy licenses for everybody in my family. I have a bunch of kids. Well, you know what? You decided to have that bunch of kids and you knew it was going to be a little more expensive to have a bunch of kids. And you know what? You don't have to buy a fishing license for kids under 17 anyway. $76 for a combo license. Now, what does the combo license buy you? It buys you that all species fish. It buys you your base license, which is basically a small game license, and it gets you 2 deer tags for $76. Well, I can't afford $76. Well, you know what? Then give something up. Give something up. Give something up. If you are committed to the outdoor lifestyle and you're not willing to pay $76 to hunter fish all year long, I believe you're not really that committed to the outdoor lifestyle. If you're using the expense as an excuse, honestly, there's if you want to hunt and fish, there is something you can give up. Like in my case, if I gave up a few cigars, I could afford to pay for that license. I think $76 for a combo license is a tremendous deal. When I take the grandkids, and I got 4 of them, when my wife Denise and I take the grandkids to the movies for an afternoon, we spend well over $100, or well over $76. Yeah, over $100 for 3 hours of entertainment. Yet you can spend $76 and spend a year of entertainment in the outdoors. I think our hunting and fishing licenses are a tremendous value. Now, I know some of you just hate the DNR so much that you don't want to give them any money. Well, you should have to pay. Don't you agree you should have to pay for the privilege of hunting or fishing? So if you gripe about the cost of hunting licenses, don't gripe to me because we can have this conversation all day long and I'm never going to back down on it. What else is going on? Oh, I made a trip to Jay's this week. Jay's Sporting Goods, my friends, Jay's Sporting Goods. I went to their Clare location. Jay's has 2 stores, one in Clare and one in Gaylord. And I bought myself a new crossbow. Yeah, I did it. I've been thinking about it for a while. I bought myself a new 10-point Viper S400 crossbow. I haven't done anything with it other than shoot it on the range at Jay's. I haven't sighted it in yet. Hopefully by the time you hear this radio show, I will have done that. But I'm pretty excited about it. I've been hunting with a crossbow for the last couple of years. I used to hunt with a recurve. I used to hunt with a compound. Hunting with a recurve was the most pure, beautiful, basic, instinctive form of hunting I've ever done. And I loved it. But you have to be very, very committed to hunt with traditional archery gear. And it got to the point where I wasn't shooting it enough to be confident and comfortable taking a shot at an animal. In fact, my last few days in the woods that I was hunting with a recurve, I thought, if a big doe walks in front of me, am I actually going to take a shot at her or not? Because I wasn't confident I could make a quick, clean, humane killing shot. And we as hunters, ethical, moral hunters, that should be our goal. So I went back to a crossbow. Well, that's not archery gear. And in fact, I posted a picture of my new rig on the Facebook page, and most people were very complimentary. They said, "Oh, that's a sharp rig. It looks good." And then there's the inevitable, well, that's cheating. That's not archery. You might as well use a cross gun. That's the one I love. Shoot a cross gun. You got a cross gun there, dude. Really? That's all you got? I say, I believe, I propose, I encourage all of us hunters and anglers to support our fellow hunters and anglers. If what they are doing is legal, whether it's a crossbow or whatever, if what they are doing is legal and they're doing it in a legal manner, I say we should support that activity. Because Lord knows there are enough people out there who don't support it. In fact, I'm almost at the point where I would rather have a conversation, a face-to-face conversation with a blatant, hardcore anti-hunter than I would somebody who claims to be a fellow hunter, yet does not support their fellow hunters. Whether it's baiting, whether it's food plots, whether it's quality deer management, whether it's crossbows, whatever it is. Do your own thing. Hunt your own hunt. As long as it's legal, I say we should support our fellow outdoorsmen and women. Well, that's not archery gear. Really? Crossbow's been around a long time. Are they easier to be more accurate with than a recurve? Of course they are. So is that bad? Is it bad to walk in the woods and want to be as accurate and proficient as possible? I don't think so. I think that's an honorable goal. In fact, I'll tell you this. I think that when you get to the point where you can't, like with the recurve, rather than people say, "Oh, you're taking the easy way out," I think people should say, "Avery, you know what? I give you credit, dude. You knew you weren't good with that tool anymore, so you went to another tool. What's wrong with that?" I've shot Darton for years. I love Darton. I support Darton. For 30 years, I've shot Darton, so it was not easy for me to make the decision to go to a 10-point. I went to a 10-point because I wanted a bow that I could decock. That's the only reason. It's not because I don't like Darton. I love Darton. I support Darton. I would encourage you to look at Darton. And if they have a bow that suits your needs, get a Darton. But for me, I think this 10-point was a very good choice. And I'm looking forward to getting out in the Michigan turkey woods with it this spring and also heading on up to Ontario for a springtime bear hunt as well. Coming up on this week's Outdoor Magazine show, after the break, Brian Darland of Jay's Sporting Goods talks about springtime steelheading here in Michigan. Then Tom Campbell of Woods and Water News in their latest edition. They got the score sheet for Mitch Rompola and that big buck from 30 years ago, the story that will not die. In our second hour, Chet Lohr, a hardcore turkey hunter, a turkey hunting guide who has gone through some rough times. He's back and he wants to talk springtime turkey hunting. Then Joanne Foreman from the DNR talking about hemlock, woolly adelgids, whatever that is. And in our third hour, springtime trolling with Mark Romanek of Fishing 411. And we wrap it all up with wild game chef Dixie Dave Miner. That's right here on Outdoor Magazine. Hey, Skeeter, how are you? Good to hear from you, buddy. All right, my friends. I pontificated a little bit more than I wanted to this morning, but I just feel like if we don't stand up these days, if we don't make our will, if we don't stand up for ourselves, especially today, they're going to walk all over us. They may walk all over us anyway, but at least we've got to do something. We got to try to do something about it. All right, my friends, have a great day. I'll see you tonight at 7:00 for another edition. Oh, the NRA is calling me. Honestly, look at NRA. They're like, Avery, we want to make you a spokesman. No, they're saying we want your money is what they want. Have a good day, my friends. I'll see you tonight, 7:00 for another edition of Wednesday Night Live.